it won't be gone till April.
Yeah. Well, we're going to dive right in. The goal of this call, like this training, I'm going to start doing these weekly, actually, some little training, like digestible bite that you can take some sort of practical action at the end. So, you know me, if you've spent any time with me, I am certainly the person that likes to give you the visual. You like to think about something differently. Like, I'm going to give you that perspective shift for sure. But at the end of this, I don't want you to just have a perspective shift. I want you to have some clarity. And specifically because we're in the new year, getting organized around the change that you want to make is the most important thing. Organizing and then doing is the name of the game. So I want everybody to have some clarity around that. And so we're going to have a mixture of people who are already in Fitme on this call, some people who are brand new. We've got some people in on track, some people who will probably listen to the replay who've like, this is their first, like, what the heck is this? So I'm just going to start. I have a couple of slides, and some of you guys have probably actually seen these before, and I am fine with that because some of the best messages are the ones that you can repeat over and over again and they're still true. But because we have such a variety of people, I want to start with this common ground, and then we're going to get into very practical. And I want to make the practical advice specific to you guys. So I would love to know what it is that you're working on around your nutrition or exercise. Like if it's, hey, I don't even know what to do, or I have questions, or I've started doing stuff and I'm not seeing changes, or I seem to be eating the right things when my portion sizes are jacked. Like I kind of want to know what's specifically on the top of your mind. So throw it in the chat if you think of a like particular question or a goal maybe that you're working on that you're like, yeah, I need organization help around this goal, or I just need to know what my first action steps are. So let me share my screen. So welcome guys. We're going to get right to it. This training will probably last 20 minutes. Not going to be a long one. These Thursdays trainings will be about 30 minutes each. So I'm going to share my screen with you. Boom, shared. Okay. Nope. I definitely don't want to end our meeting. So I got to get that. All right. So welcome to the workshop. This is the first live training of the new year. So I'm pumped that you're here. Because I know not everybody knows me. My name's Christy Campbell. I'm the founder of Fitme. A little bit about me. I'm a Naval Academy graduate. I'm originally from the Eastern Shore of Maryland. I live in Washington State now because my husband's stationed here. I was in the Navy. And did 7 years active duty, and he is still in. He's almost 20 years deep in the Navy, and we're stationed here, we live here with our 3 kids who are 13, 10, and 2, and our 3 crazy dogs. So Bonnie the Bernedoodle and these 2 rescue mutt mastiffs that I lost my mind last year when I rescued these guys, but we love them. You'll probably hear them in the background because they can't stop, won't stop. They're always doing something. I've been a coach and a trainer now for 8 years. And I started coaching and training because a coach made a difference for me. Ultimately, my background, my education is in something completely different than this. But I found myself after 10 knee surgeries and my first 2 children in a place where I didn't feel like me anymore. I was happy as a mom. I was happy as a professional, but I wasn't happy in my skin and I was kind of lost. I was doing every diet under the sun, trying to figure out what was wrong with me. Why didn't I have the discipline to stick with it? How come I had friends who didn't struggle with their weight? Like, why did I have to struggle? So I really spent this season of my life thinking, well, this is mom life. Like, this is what happens when you get older. You just don't get to feel happy anymore in your skin or feel confident or athletic. And it wasn't until I met a coach during the most unlikely time when my husband was deployed and my boys were really little. I met a coach, and he wasn't anything fancy. He wasn't some, Instagram famous guy or some super like popular fitness superstar. He was just a great coach. And over the course of that year, I made the changes I needed to not lose just lose weight. I mean, I did lose 40 pounds and regain my strength and feel like me again. But really what I found that year was that piece of me that was missing. And that coach made such a difference for my life. It was so important to me that I decided that this is what I'm going to do. So since then, I've spent over 5,000 hours in person and over 5,000 hours online coaching people. And what we do in Fitme is we help people not just lose weight, but more importantly, make diet-free, sustainable change that works in real life, and do it in a way that takes care of the entire person. So that's what we do inside Fitme. So that's just a little bit about me. What's ahead? I'm going to show you my consistency method because this will stick in your head forever. And again, some of you've seen us before. We're going to spend 5 minutes talking about it because it's worth it. And it's a perfect time of year to discuss it. So you're going to understand the Fitme consistency method. And then we'll talk about how to organize your nutrition and exercise for the new year to achieve your goals. Sound like a plan? Everybody, thumbs up it. Cool. All right. So this is the consistency method. I'm going to illustrate it for you and prove it to you because it's important to see that this isn't just like woo woo Christy talk. This is actually how it works. So we've got two very nice young women here. We've got purple hair girl and we have orange hair girl. And they both have goals. And we're going to kind of symbolically show that their goal is to move bricks over this hill. But they're going to go about it very differently. I told you would hear the dogs. So there's Rosie making noise for no reason. They are going to go about this goal with two very different approaches. And you right now in January 2022 are one of these two people. And you're probably surrounded by the other person, like who is going to do it the approach that we're not going to want. But let me show you. The common thing is for everybody to be like, I am all in. I'm going to move 10 bricks every day for the next year. It's January. Like I'm in. I'm going to new year, new me. Like I'm committed to doing this 10 bricks every day. So think of that as sort of like full effort. Imagine insert particular strict challenge, insert, strict meal plan, unsustainable strategy, you name it. Like that's the 10 brick a day thing, or even something that like isn't necessarily a gimmick, but is more like, I'm going to work out twice a day. I'm going to eat perfectly. Like I'm going to do this perfect. That's how I'm going to do it. That's the 10 brick a day. So purple girl's committed to the 10 brick a day plan. Orange girl is going to do the Fitme consistency method, and we're going to see who gets better results. So purple girl, just like everybody on the internet right now, is hype. Let's all sign up for the thing. Let's do the thing. Everyone's amped. We're all in. You're going to like, look how fast we can do this. The fastest transformation as possible. We're going to get 10 out of 10 every day, disciplined, motivated, on point, and everybody's amped. But what happens? We already know what happens with purple girl. We already know that after she's done 7 days in a row, and then something happens, life happens, which is normal. Life got hard, work went long, kids got sick, maybe something got hurt at the gym. And so she had moved 10 bricks a day for a week. She moved 70 bricks. So that sounds pretty good, but a bunch of the people who started with her, they already quit. And she feels frustrated because she didn't have a perfect day. And here we go, dogs. And perfect day is what she committed to. Hang on just 1 second. I'm going to see what's wrong with. I'm back. So after 7 days of moving 10 bricks a day, she does the thing that always happens is we get frustrated that we couldn't do it perfect. So then we quit. Meanwhile, orange girl, she's doing our like Fitme consistency method where we told her it's okay if you can only do 2 or you can 5, do 5 bricks. You don't have to do 10. Just keep going. Just keep showing up. So far, orange girl, she's done a few bricks. Looks like Purple Girl's kind of ahead, actually. She moved 70 bricks. Orange Girl only has moved a couple, but Purple Girl's quitting now because she couldn't do it perfect. So why even keep going, right? I'm going to wait to get going again. Those bricks didn't matter anyway. I messed it up. I mean, we're not even knocking Purple Girl because I think we've all been in this spot before where we try something, we get it going, we commit to being perfect, and then something messes it up, and then we quit. And then we discount the work that we already did. We just say it doesn't matter. I'm going to start over again later. So Purple Girl quits. And that's what you guys are going to see happen. A lot of people are going to start things right now at the beginning of the year. And in a week or two, they'll quit for exactly this reason. They won't be able to do it perfectly. So they'll just need to stop and wait until they want to try again. But you know what's funny is like, just because Orange Girl, she has the consistency method, it doesn't mean that life's not hard for her either. Life's a little bit hard for her too. And it's hard for her to see her progress, right? Because if there's a mountain in front of you, if it's kind of like, you can't always see the bricks that you've moved to the other side. But Orange Girl, again, with the consistency, she is just trying to keep showing up, whether it's 2 bricks, whether it's 5, whether it's 8. She has people around her that are like, look what you've accomplished. Like somebody who's been there before, whether that's a coach or a friend or someone else who's on the same page, who's like, you can keep going. I can see what you're doing matters. Keep going. Purple Girl, a couple months from now, you'll see everybody. New plan, new diet. I'm all in. Let's go. Right. So she only moved 70 bricks, but now she's ready to go again. Meanwhile, Orange Girl's been keeping going, right? Sometimes it's a 2 brick day. Sometimes it's a 5 brick day. But she's got people around her, encouraging her. It's the way you just got to keep going. So Purple Girl, 2 days of perfect. And then that's a wrap. She quits. She's like, I might as well sit here for a while. I'll just finish this ice cream or I'll have all the chips because when I start moving bricks again, I won't be able to do that. So I better just have all of it now. Again, I think most of us can relate to that. We've been there. But now she's moved 90 bricks total. Orange Girl just keeps going. Sometimes it's a 2 brick day. Sometimes it's an 8 brick day, but not perfect is okay. The big picture is just keep consistency. Just keep going. Purple Girl, even though she has people around her, it's not really the same as community because they don't have that shared values and purpose. They don't understand why she wants this and why it matters. So when they all quit, it's like, it feels like, well, I'll quit too. It's not the same kind of momentum as having a squad, people who understand why you are trying to achieve this goal and can do it with you. Because at the end of the day, like it feels kind of sexy and fun to be like, yeah, I'm going to move 10 bricks a day. I mean, that is the sexier, fun thing to do in some ways. But when you surround yourself with people who are also understand that, consistency is how it is done, then it makes it a lot more fun and enjoyable. I mean, sometimes Orange Girl only shows up because one of her friends does too. That's the only reason she did her workout today is because so-and-so tagged her. That's the only reason she drank her water. That's the only reason she kept going with her Fitme plates is because so-and-so else did it. And so she's like, yep, I get it. I'm doing it too. And so keeps on going. So here's the proof, right? Because I know you hear me and you're like, yeah, that sounds great. Like I get it. Consistency counts, but let me prove it to you. Over a course of a year, most people start a minimum like of 3 diets where they're like, I'm all in and try to be perfect. And then they quit. That results for the Purple Girl. She moved 270 bricks. 270 is what she moved by restarting this like all or nothing mindset. Orange Girl, with this consistency method, she moved 2,100 bricks, 2,190. And she averaged only 6 out of 10 a day. So that's like a D. If you went to school and you got a 6 out of 10, that is a D. So she didn't just move some more bricks. She moved significantly more. She got significantly better results than the person who was all in with an unsustainable approach and had to be perfect. This method actually created a much better result. And she didn't have to be perfect. That's what I wanted us to start this conversation with. That's why I felt like it's important to revisit this consistency thing, because sometimes we feel like we have to be perfect in order to make progress, but this shows you that you actually don't. Moving, 6 bricks a day, a D average, gets you significant progress. And so when you ditch the diets and the all or nothing approach and you start to follow a plan and surround yourself with people who see this big picture, who care why you want this change, and who are doing it too, you can really create an entirely different outcome. I want to start here before we get really specific to everybody's goals and making plans and strategies for the year, because if you don't have this piece in mind, you might walk away from this call thinking that you need to have some kind of commitment to being perfect to your strategy or being perfect to the plan, and you don't. If that is all you remember from this, just remember this. Just remember that the 6 bricks a day. And if you're like, yep, today's a 2 brick day, this is all I got done. Or, hey, today was great. It's a 10 brick day. I did all the things. I'm so pumped, but I don't have to do it like this every day to get the results that I want. So I wanted to share that with you before we even get, specific, because again, if that's all you remember, I feel like this is job well done. Does that resonate? Does that stick with you guys in any way? Like, do you see other people? Even if it's us ourselves, again, I'm not criticizing other people, but do you see the hype that happens for most people and then it just fades away? Yeah. I think, and you can either unmute or you can drop it in the chat, either one, if you want to contribute, because I want to make this kind of interactive. Even knowing this, it's still so helpful to have people around you who understand this too, because I know this. I wrote those slides, and I swear to you, the other day I was feeling frustrated with myself because I had set intentions and I didn't do it. And I text a friend, and he knows this strategy because I talked to him about it. And he's like, it's a 2 brick day, Christy. It's a 2 brick day. Just keep going. And so that was just really valuable for me to hear. It's something that's like nice to return to. So we know that consistency matters. I think everybody agrees. Okay, I believe you. Like, if I'm consistent, that equals the best result. So what do we actually have to be consistent doing? That's really the question, right? What do we need to be consistent doing? So I guess I want to know what a couple people's goals are. Like, you joined this call because you obviously have goals in the new year, or things that you're working on, things that you want to see change. So put them in the chat box. Like, let's get specific around some of this stuff. Anybody willing to share theirs? Michelle, you said trying but not consistent yet. So we'll talk about that. Lisa, be more consistent with movement and lose the COVID pounds. I want to lose 30 pounds. Okay. So we know we have to be consistent. You agree? It works better than all or nothing. So what do we actually need to be consistent with in order to see our body change? Ultimately, that's taking good care of our body and doing it consistently results in change. So lose 20 pounds and be consistent with strength training. In order to see weight loss happen, okay, in order to see weight loss happen, which is our body burning stored body fat, a couple of things need to happen. One is we actually, and this is just like the science, you're going to be like, yeah, I know. We actually need to expend more energy than we take in. That's kind of like, okay, got it, calorie in, calorie out, but that's not really that's not helpful. Okay. What we actually need to do is move more. So did you know that moving actually accounts for like 80% of what we're talking about in terms of like your daily energy expenditure? So not your workouts, even though those are good, that's only a small portion. It's actually your overall daily movement, how you move around throughout the day. That has more of a factor on your body's metabolism and on the energy that you expend than your like exercise. Even though exercise is good, exercise helps us build muscle, it helps us do all of these important things. Don't worry, Teresa. You said that's terrible news for this office worker. It's not terrible news. It's good news. Whenever you have information, it's empowering, right? So having info means that you can take action on it. So one of the most important things that you can do if you are trying to see weight loss happen is to start to move more. So how do you do that? So in Fitme, obviously we say, hey, we want you to do 30 minutes of intentional movement every day. That can be your workout. It can be a walk. It can be yoga. It can be something, but just moving more, even if it's just setting your alarm clock and getting up for 1 minute and doing a couple laps, and you do that every hour, that is something. So how do you actually do it? Like, you're like, Christy, I believe you. Okay, I know I have to be consistent. You're telling me I have to move more. We've got check, and then we've got check. But how do we do this? How do we like organize our life to move more? I'm asking you guys. So drop it in the comments or unmute yourself. Schedule it. I like it, Lisa. Yes, schedule it. If it's important to us, we schedule it. I block it in my planner. Okay. Both of those. I think the Fitbit alarm to remind us to get those steps in every hour. I get too busy first thing and then don't get back to it. You guys nailed it. But let's break it down. If something is important to you, you schedule it. So if you have kids, you have dogs, you have a job, you have something that is important to you already, I promise you it's in your calendar. You have scheduled it. Dog's vet appointment. Kid needs to go to the pediatrician. Job, I have a meeting. Whatever it is, it's in your calendar. So if you're struggling with movement and I don't get enough movement every day, and putting the movement in your calendar is like a mandatory. Your movement in your workouts should be in your calendar. So that's your first action step. If they aren't, that's action step number 1, putting them in your calendar. So what does that look like? Well, that could be scheduling your workouts. Again, I'm not discounting workouts. I want you to do those too, but I'm just saying, I'm giving you the overall truth. But if it's movement, then we've got to schedule that too. If you otherwise are sitting most of the day, you got to move. So here's the thing. This is another important like brain shifter. You are already on a path to somewhere. All right. What you are doing right now is leading you somewhere. If you want to end up somewhere different, you have to change what you are doing. You have to slightly change that direction. You are already on a direction. You're already moving in your day. Some routine is already existing in your day. So in order for you to see change, if you want to see change, you actually have to change that routine. So that is, if you can sink that in too, if you understand consistency and you understand what I just said, you already have 2 of the most important mindset things that you need. So when you're thinking to yourself, okay, Christy still got to move more. And I know I have to put it in my calendar. I don't want to put it in my calendar because what if they're different tomorrow? What if I don't want to do it? Or like, what if tomorrow changes? Or what if I don't have time? Then you're not changing that trajectory. You're sticking with the routine you already have. So you're staying the same. Nothing is changing. You have to be a little bit uncomfortable and say, you know what? Scheduling a 30-minute walk in the morning is not what I'm doing right now. It's going to be hard to wake up and do that. Or like doing going down to my basement and doing this workout is not what I'm currently doing right now. So scheduling it and then following through, that is a change of course that you're doing. It should feel uncomfortable. That means you are making a change. And I don't think we hear that enough. It's like sometimes things will feel gradual. They won't feel that hard, but other times knowing that you are changing and it feels uncomfortable, that's a positive sign. The second thing, you guys hit it in the comments, which is oftentimes when it is a new thing that we need to do more of, we have to put it in the morning. I wish that wasn't true. I really wish it wasn't true. But often our days get too busy, things get away from us. We certainly get tired and worn out. And then by the end of the day, it's exponentially harder. So if you walk away from this call and you're like, you know what? The thing that I'm going to commit to doing is doing a walk, and I'm not doing it now. And I'm going to commit to doing a 30-minute walk in the morning, every single day. Then you set that alarm and you go and you get it done. It's cross that off the list immediately. If you're struggling with your workouts because you're not consistent with your workouts, they need to be scheduled and they need to be earlier. They need to be earlier in your day. So this is the practical action step. Everybody should walk away from this call with stuff in their calendar or knowing you're going to put it in your calendar. And it should be different than what you're doing right now. Your default setting. Does that make sense on movement? And I want to hear like feedback from everybody too. Like, as in a week, I would love to hear, even tomorrow, Christy, here's my calendar. Take a picture, tag me in it, put it in the Facebook group. Here's my calendar with all my movement scheduled. Here's what I'm going to do. Teresa says it's easier to knock them out first thing when she's still half asleep. I agree. And Marlena, who is the queen of morning movement, sets a morning alarm to get my morning movement. And she's also made a lunch walk a non-negotiable. I like that too. Again, it's a non-negotiable. If it's going to be a change, something that you stick to, moving more, you've got to find a place where it works in your real life. And Teresa, don't give up. Even if you have an office job, there are places to sneak in some movement. So I love that you're already doing it first thing. So what else do we have to change? What else? Anybody? We're going to move more.
The way we think about it.
Thinking that's good. I mean, we definitely have talked about that a little bit too, the way we think about it. Michelle put water. I like water. That's one of our basics with Fitme is we don't drink our calories. Instead, we drink a lot of water. We save our calorie drinks for treats. So how much water should you hit? I'll put it in the chat, but half your body weight in ounces plus 15. Yeah, Teresa said a lot. I highly recommend getting a water bottle, one with a straw, knowing how much water is in it. And then we're going to return to the same strategy. If you're crushing it on water, you don't need to worry about this. If you're not drinking water, it is going to be very difficult for you to lose weight, period. It's just how our bodies work. So what we want to do is make sure we're getting enough water. And so this is going to be really clear, simple action step. Do you have a water bottle that can get you to your water target? And do you know how many times you need to fill it up during the day? That's a simple question. I know this sounds so simple. It doesn't mean that it's easy though. I know if I drink this entire giant thing, that's my water because I always have at least 1 or 2 LaCroix on top of it. And so I'll hit my water, but I know how much is in there. Awesome. Michelle has her Fitme bottle. I think you even had it a second ago. I think I noticed it. I didn't realize the one I was using had a small straw. I drink more with a bigger straw. Really good point. The bigger the straw, the easier it is to drink, I think. So water is one that everybody can walk away with. I'm going to move more. I'm going to drink more water. And then what else? It's the food. Marlena said it's the food prep. We know that we've got to make changes to our nutrition if we want to see our bodies change. If we want to lose weight, if we want to build strength, if we want to see those changes, the food is 70%. Food 70%. So when we're trying to lose weight, again, most of the people, the all-in people, the 10 brick a day hype challenge are going to tell you need to do something extreme. You don't. You do not. We start with the edges. So what I mean by edges is what are the things that we can change that we repeat every single day, but we can just create good boundaries around, and that alone will start to create the change we want. So if we stop drinking our calories, that's a great start. The second piece is that we skip the processed junk. So if you've had a lot of snacky type foods over the holidays, those are the ones that I would say like put on the outside of that boundary. Are you regularly snacking on like processed junk food and snack food and sweets? If we can take those out and replace them with a like higher quality snack, for example, something that looks like a Fitme plate, but more like snack size, that is going to create that change. We're going to go from having more than our body needs to having the right amount, and our body will change accordingly. But it's always about what we do consistently, right? So again, if we're talking about how does that translate to what we just referred to, 10 brick day or a 6 brick day or a 4 brick day, 10 brick a day means you can never have anything ever again. Like you can't have any of it. No more sugar, no more chips, no more whatever. That sounds like that unsustainable 10 brick a day strategy. I want you to think about what's sustainable for you and stick to it. One of the things that I suggest is just to not to put it in your house. If you don't put it in your house, you're probably not going to eat it. So it's going to be a lot harder, especially if you're snowed in. You have to literally get out and push through the snow to go get chips and ice cream if it's not in your house. So that is one of the like simple changes that it sounds so silly, but when you make that change, it really adds up because it impacts what you do every day. Michelle, you wrote, I definitely think about what I'm eating differently now with Fitme plates. What do you mean by that? Like what's changed in how you think about it?
I'll just say it easier. I realized even though I think I eat vegetables and have it more balanced all the time, I found out that I was only eating 1 or 2, and I'm really needing to add in either the vegetables to make sure that it's that the all of the components, or I was just eating maybe a protein and a vegetable, and then I wasn't getting, I add fruit instead of rice. I just feel better with that. And so I'm adding more things in because I remember, I need to add that in, where before I was only eating like 2 out of maybe the 4 or 5 things that are in the Fitme plate.
Mm-hmm.
Makes me add something in order to make that.
I like that. And I think like the strategy of adding in is ultimately a more sustainable strategy. It's something easier to stick to consistently. It's like if you look at your plate and you're like, well, all I have on here is a piece of protein and, but I don't have the veggies that are really filling it up and making me full, and I'm not having like a balanced Fitme plate, then it is going to be harder to stick to that because we're going to feel hungry. We're going to feel snackier. Our body is not going to get what it needs. And so it's going to be significantly harder not to overdo it in other places. So if you want to eat like Fitme plates, and if you're brand new and you don't have a Fitme plate guide, we can get that to you and it'll just teach you how to build a basic Fitme plate. But if you want to build a Fitme plate, that's great. It's like wanting to move more. But it doesn't actually happen unless we do something specific to organize ourselves around it. So then how do we actually commit to doing it? Or how do we actually do it? Marlena kind of dropped that a few minutes ago. Because she put in the chat that food prep. Doing even a little bit of food prep. It doesn't have to be like all all in, right? Teresa, you said, yeah, the hard part is the prep. But if it's important, it belongs in our schedule. It belongs in our calendar. It's not going to happen. If it's not already happening in a part of your already routine, in order for you to create it, it has to be scheduled and it has to be prioritized. So I highly recommend, if you're not already doing Fitme plates consistently, if you are kind of struggling with this nutrition piece, that when you hang up from this call, you need to schedule when you're going to do your grocery order and when you're going to do your food prep or planning. It doesn't have to be make every meal you're going to eat. That's not what's required. But when are you going to do your grocery shopping? And when are you going to plan out your plan for the week? Maybe it's just listing out your dinners, because dinner is also lunch, like the next day. You're a leftovers person. Maybe you're really focused on the snacks. You're on the go, you're juggling all the things. So you've got to order some stuff that you can do for snacks. Knowing it in feeling like I should be doing that is not the same as doing it. So hanging up from this call and scheduling, when do I do my grocery order and when do I make my plan? That's your action step, because it doesn't require something crazy and fancy, like some weird elimination of like all the things. But what it does require is like what Michelle said. If we are adding in and we have good quality choices, it makes it a lot easier to say no to sugar or to not be snacking on kind of like the junky snacks. But in order for us to have something to eat instead, we have to do the meal prep and we have to do the grocery order. So you guys have a couple of action steps, and a bunch of you are already in Fitme. And so what I want you to be able to do is to leave this call and change course a little bit, change something. You took the time to be here, to spend 30 minutes, so we could talk about this. Consistency matters. You want to do it. You see that there's a couple simple changes that you can make. So let's make a change. Pick one and be like, this is changing, and I'm going to do it a little bit different. And if you aren't in Fitme yet, you can take this information and you can run with it. If you want to just take it and be like, I got it, Christy told me, and run with it, go. If you're like, I hear you, but I would like some help, then I want to invite you to do our On Track group, which starts a week from Monday. So On Track is our group program where we do this with you. We will help you drink more water. We'll help you understand what to grocery order. We're going to help you kind of get this ball rolling. So we start On Track. I'm going to put it in the chat, but On Track is a 4-week program that starts a week from Monday. And if you want to do On Track and you're not in Fitme yet, you can actually start with our free week next week, and then you can jump into On Track the following week. So you can really just get going like ASAP and do free week first and then roll straight into On Track. But we will do it with you, because it's easier said than done. Like I said, I know all this stuff. I've been coaching for a long time, and I still utilize coaching community to help me be consistent and do it. And so there's nothing wrong with you if you want some support and some guidance and you don't want to do it alone. So I put the link in there if you are brand new, and you can always just message me directly if you want to chat. So does everybody feel like you've got action? Cool. I really do want you to tag me. So tomorrow or tonight, whenever you take the action, and if you feel comfortable, post it in the Facebook group and say, here's the thing from the training. It's done. It's in motion. And that way there's some accountability around it, and I can encourage you and then keep you accountable, and your coach can keep you accountable, or the community can keep you accountable as you do it. Cool, guys. Well, thanks so much for being here. I hope this was helpful. Helpful, simple. That's my game. But sometimes it's like the simple messages that we commit and return to are the ones that we internalize, and they become who we are, right? Like it doesn't always have to be complicated and new. So thank you guys for spending the time and being here. And I will talk to you guys soon. Take care. Bye.